Hello everyone, let us know about abstract algebra. The title of the paper is abstract algebra, and in this abstract algebra the first unit is groups, and the basic topics in groups are binary operations, definitions, properties, elementary properties, finite groups, infinite groups, composition tables, theorems on groups. Right. Next, to know well about the group theory, that is groups, that is the first unit in abstract algebra in this prescribed syllabus, we have to know what is a set. It is a basic definition which we learn in our lower classes. Right. A set is defined as well-defined collection of objects. It is defined as well-defined collection of objects. Right. Example of set is natural number set. Right. It is denoted by capital N is equal to 1, 2, 3, separated by commas and so on. Next, the second example is integer set. It is denoted by capital letter Z and it takes the values. Negative values, we don't know the starting negative value, and it continues under -3, -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, 3 and so on. Right. Next definition is Cartesian product of two sets. Right. Cartesian product of two sets. Right. If we see clearly, the Cartesian product of two sets is defined between two sets, say capital A comma capital B, which is defined as A cross B is equal to, it is a ordered pair denoted by small a comma small b put in simple brackets such that small a belongs to capital A and small b belongs to capital B. Right. I repeat once again, a Cartesian product is defined as A cross B is equal to the set of ordered pairs A comma B put in simple brackets such that A belongs to capital A and B belongs to capital B. If we go for example of a Cartesian product of two sets, right, example, if capital A takes the values 1, 2, 3 and if capital B takes the values 4, 5, 6, then the Cartesian product between two sets A comma B is defined as A cross B is equal to, it is the standard notation of Cartesian product of two sets, and according to these two sets, the Cartesian product takes the elements 1, 4, 1, 5, 1, 6, 2, 4, 2, 5, 2, 6, 3, 4, 3, 5, 6, 3, 6. This is an example of Cartesian product of two sets. Right. Next, if we go for the next definition, relation. As we see here, a subset of Cartesian product of two sets is defined as relation. This relation is a set of ordered pairs. Right. If A cross B is taken as the Cartesian product of two sets, if I take any subset, if I take 1, 4, it is called as relation. If I take 1, 4, 1, 5, it is called as relation. If we go for a better example, if capital A is equal to 3, 4, 5, 6 and if capital B is equal to 7, 9, then the relation defined from Cartesian product of two sets A comma B is denoted by capital R is equal to 3, 7, 3, 9, 4, 7 and 4, 9. In this way or in this manner, we can define any number of subsets from the Cartesian product which is defined between these two sets A and B. Right. Next, if we go for another example, right, it is an important example in group theory. It is empty set. Right. Empty set itself defines as the set which is empty. Right. If we go for the definition, a set G is said to be empty if G has no elements in it. Right. Empty set is denoted by the symbol phi. Phi is equal to flower brackets. In these flower brackets, we don't find any element. That is why this phi is defined as an empty set. Right. Empty set is also called as null set. Right. If we go for next definition, non-empty set. A set G is said to be non-empty if G contains at least one element in it. I repeat once again, a non-empty set is defined as a set G which is containing at least one element. If we go for example, the set of even primes. 2 is even, at the same time 2 is prime. That is why set of even primes is equal to a single term set. The set containing only one element, that is 2. Set of whole numbers 0, 1, 2, 3 and so on. So these two sets are the examples of non-empty set. Not only these two examples, we can further define many examples on this non-empty set. Right. If we go for another definition in set, it is finite set. Finite is countable number of. Finite is countable number of. A set G is said to be finite set if G contains countable number of elements. Right. I have taken set A as the set of vowels A, E, I, O, U, and set G as 1, omega square. I have taken these two examples as finite sets. Infinite set, a set G is said to be infinite set if G contains uncountable number of elements. As we know that infinite is uncountable. Right. If a set G is said to be infinite if G contains uncountable number of elements. Right. The example is set of primes. Set of primes are many. If I take the prime numbers, there are many uncountable number of prime numbers in number system. Right. If I go for second example, the set of rational numbers denoted by capital Q. The rational numbers, as we know that they are many and which are uncountable. Right. Therefore, the sets are mostly denoted by capital letters, capital A, B, C, and so on. Right. In group theory, we mostly use capital G, capital H, capital N as symbolic representations of different groups in this unit. Right. If we move further, let us know about the next definition, that is binary operator. In basic classes, that is in the second, fourth, fifth, first, and so on. In lower classes, we have learned the basic operators called plus, minus, into, and division. It is addition, it is subtraction, it is multiplication, and it is division. Right. These are called as binary operators if we come to the concept of groups. Why these four operators are called as binary operators? Why? Because if these operators are put in between any two elements, if I take the example 4 plus 5, 7 minus 9, 4 by 5 into 10 by 8, 6 divided by 9. Right. I have placed these four operators in between two elements. That is, these operators are operated between two elements or more elements. That is why we call these four operators as binary operators or basic binary operators. Right. In group theory, if we go for the note, in group theory we learn about special binary operations other than plus, minus, into, and division. Right. What are those? Let us go for definition of binary operation. A operation star is said to be a binary operation or binary composition in set G if A star B belong to G for every A comma B belong to G. Right. I repeat once again, an operation star. Here I am representing an operation with a symbol star. An operation star is said to be binary operation or binary composition in set G if A star B belong to G for every A comma B belong to G. To learn well about this definition, let us go for an example. Right. Instead of G, I have taken N. Right. What is N? Capital N. Capital N contains all the natural numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. Right. Instead of this operation, this operator star, I have taken the symbol addition. Right. Let us see whether this operation plus is a binary operation in set of natural numbers n or not. Right. Then star I have written here as plus is a binary composition or plus is a binary operation in set n. Right. Since if I take A plus B, what is A and what is B? A belong to n and B belong to n. Right. A comma B are any two elements taken from set of natural numbers capital N. Right. It is the standard form of representing a binary operation. Right. If I go for example, I have taken 100 instead of A, 11 instead of B, and I have added 100 with 11. The answer is 111. And if we see clearly in set of natural numbers, we can find 111. Right. So for 100 comma 11, which are present in N, this belong to symbol says that these two numbers are present in set of natural numbers. Right. If I take these two 100 and 11 in set of natural numbers, and if I add these two numbers, the resultant value is 111, and this 111 is present in set of natural numbers, right? This example clearly says that the resultant value when operated 111 with plus, the resultant value is 111, it is present in set of natural numbers. Therefore, plus is a binary operation, or it is a binary composition, or it is a binary operation or binary composition, right? If I go for another example, 3 plus 88, it is 91. If we see set of natural numbers, 91 is present in set of natural numbers. So for 3, 88, which are present in set of natural numbers, the resultant value is 91. When these two elements are added, the resultant value is 91. Right. Therefore, if we take any two natural numbers from this set of natural numbers, and if we add, the resultant value will be a natural number. It is a basic example to know well about the definition of binary operation. Right. If I proceed further, the set of integers. Right. In this definition, I have taken set G as it is standard representation of definition of binary composition. Here I have taken Z represents set of integers. I have taken all the set of integers, right? And the operation is division. Right. Now let us test whether this symbol division is a binary operation in set of integers or not. Right. See, division is not a binary operation, or division is not a binary composition in set. Why? Why I have written in this way? Why? Because we know well that any number when divided by 0 gives undefined value, that is a unknown value, right? Minus 3 is present in set of integers, right? And 0 is also an element of set of integers, right? Minus 3 when divided by 0 is undefined. Minus 2 when divided by 0 is undefined. But in the same way, minus 1 by 0, 1 by 0, 2 by 0, 3 by 0. That is, any integer when divided by 0 is undefined. Undefined means a value which is unknown, and that value is not within set of integers. Therefore, this symbol division or this operator division is not satisfying the basic definition of binary operation. Therefore, we conclude that division is not a binary operation in set of integers Z, right? If I go further, the best and the well known and the basic definition in group theory is algebraic structure. What is an algebraic structure? Right. There is a linkage between this binary operation and this algebraic structure. Here, in these two examples, example 1, I have taken only one operation plus. In this example 2, I have taken only one operation division. If I go for more than one operation, that is, if I go for two operations, right? In this example, if we see clearly, I have taken set of integers Z. I have taken two operations. One is plus and the other is minus, and I am testing whether this plus and this minus are satisfying the definition of binary operations in set of integers or not, right? If I test, we know well that if I add any two integers, the resultant value is an integer. If I subtract any two integers, the resultant value is again an integer. That is what I have written here. I have written that plus, that is addition, is a binary operator in set of integers Z. Since a plus b belong to Z, for every a comma b belong to Z. This says that if any two integers a comma b are added, the resultant value is again present in set of integers Z, right? If I go for subtraction, so I have written here that subtraction is a binary operator in set of integers Z. Why? Because since if I take any two integers a comma b belong to Z, and if I subtract those two integers, then the resultant value is again an integer. That is, here in this example, we clearly knew that plus and minus are satisfying the definition of binary composition. That is why the set of integers is containing or it is equipped with two or more binary operations. That is equipping. What is the meaning of equipping? Equipping means the set G should satisfy the properties of binary operation with respect to one or more binary operators. In this example, we have clearly known that plus and subtraction are satisfying the binary operation properties in set of integers Z. Therefore, Z is a algebraic structure with respect to two symbols. One is plus and other is minus. That is why I have written here. See, set Z is equipped with two binary operators. One is plus and other is minus. Therefore, set Z is an algebraic structure. Right. Therefore, this algebraic structure is denoted by Z comma plus comma minus, taken in simple brackets. Right. Therefore, it is read as Z comma plus comma minus. It is an algebraic structure. Right. Depending upon definition of algebraic structure, we can define as many examples as we need. After algebraic structure, let us know about these three symbols. What is this? I read it as star. I read this symbol as circle. I read this symbol as circle dot. So, in this group theory, we can use these three symbols to represent a binary operation. Right. So, mainly to represent my definitions as per my concepts, I mainly use this symbol star to define all these definitions of the groups. Right. So, if I go further for next definition of a group, the first element is identity element. Right. What is an identity element? Here, it is clearly written as 1 into any number is the number itself. 1 into any number is the number itself. It is a universal fact or universal truth. Right. If I take 1 into 1000, it gives 1000. 1 into minus 1, it gives minus 1. 1 into 2000, it gives 2000. So, 1 into any number is the number itself. And if I take the second example, 0 plus any number is equal to the number itself. Here, the operation is multiplication. Here, the operation is addition. So, if I take 0 plus 2000, it is 2000. 0 plus 200, it is 200. So, we call this one as identity element with respect to 2. With respect to 2. WRT is the short form of with respect to 2. With multiplication. So, I repeat this once again. 1 is the identity element with respect to multiplication, and as per the second example, 0 is the identity element with respect to addition. Right. It is very important example to know about the identity elements with respect to multiplication and identity element with respect to addition. You have to remember very carefully. Right. Next example, 1 into 555, it is 555, and 0 plus 555, it is 555. Right. If I go for next important element, it is inverse element. Right. Here I have written it as a into 1 by a is 1. We already know that a into 1 by a is equal to 1. Since we can cancel a and a, the resultant value is 1. That is why it is equal to 1. Therefore, here we know that a is multiplicative inverse of 1 by a, and 1 by a is multiplicative inverse of a. Why? Because a and 1 by a when operated with into, the resultant value is 1. Therefore, a is inverse of 1 by a and 1 by a is inverse of a. And we can read it as a is multiplicative inverse of 1 by a and 1 by a is multiplicative inverse of a. Here, this operation multiplication is to be specified very clearly while representing the inverse element, and we have to represent the operation while representing the identity element. Right. Next, if we go for further, see here, if we go for next example, that is a plus of minus a is equal to 0, or minus a plus a is equal to 0. It is the second example for additive inverse. Additive inverse. Right. So we know very clear that a plus minus a, nothing but plus of minus gives minus. A minus a is 0, or minus a plus a. Minus a plus a gets cancelled and it gives the resultant value 0. Therefore, here we can read it as a is additive inverse of minus a and minus A is additive inverse of A, right? So here we have known that what is additive inverse. Why? Because A and minus A when operated with plus, the resultant value is identity element 0, and minus A and A when operated with plus, the resultant value is identity element 0. Therefore, A is additive inverse of minus A and minus A is additive inverse of A. Right. Next, the first and foremost, most important definitions to define a group. So, here I have written this as important definitions to be known to define a group. So, to define a group, we should be well known and we should be very clearly knowing about definitions called closure property. Next one is associative property. The next one is identity property. The next property is inverse property. Right. If I go for the first property, that is closure property, it is the first property, property 1, to define a group. Right. I read it. A non-empty set G is said to satisfy closure property with respect to operation star if A star B belong to G for every A comma B belong to G. Right. It is very most important condition. We should be kept in mind very thoroughly. Right. I repeat once again. If A star B belong to G for every A comma B belong to G, and if star is binary operation, then G is said to satisfy closure property with respect to operation star. Or we can read it as, or we can write it as G comma star is closed. G comma star is closed. Or we write it as G satisfies closure property with respect to operation star. So I repeat once again. We can write in our own words about the closure property. Right. If G is a given non-empty set and if star is any given binary operation, then if A star B belong to G for every A comma B belong to G, then we say that G satisfies closure property with respect to operation star. Right. The next property is associative property. Right. I teach this in my own words. If G satisfies the property A star of B star C is equal to A star B of star C for every A comma B comma C belong to G, then G satisfies associative property with respect to operation star. Or if we go for definition, a non-empty set G is said to satisfy associative property with respect to operation star if A star of B star C is equal to A star B of star C for every A comma B comma C belongs to G. The next property is property 3, identity property. A non-empty set G is said to satisfy identity property with respect to binary operation star if there exists an element E in set G such that A star E is equal to E star A for every A comma A belong to G. Right. I repeat once again. A non-empty set G is said to satisfy identity property if there exists an element E in G such that A star E is equal to E star A for every A belong to G. Right. Here is the first half of this property, that is A star E is equal to A for every A belong to G is left identity, and the next half is E star A is equal to A for every A belong to G is right identity. Right? I repeat once again in my words. A non-empty set G is said to satisfy identity property if there exists an element E in set G such that A star E is equal to E star A for every A belong to G. It is identity property. Right. The first half A star E is equal to A for every A belong to G is left identity, and the next half, that is E star A is equal to A, is right identity. Right? I go for next definition, that is the last definition, inverse property. I repeat in my words, inverse property. A non-empty set G is said to satisfy inverse property with respect to binary operation if for every A belong to G there should exist B belong to G such that A star B is equal to B star A for every A comma B belong to G. Right. I repeat in my words. Right. we say that G satisfies inverse property if for every A belong to G, there exists an element B belong to G such that A star B is equal to E is equal to B star A, comma, for every A comma B belong to G. It is inverse property. Now, from up to now, I have discussed only the definitions of a group. That is closure property, the first property, associative property, the second property, identity property, the third property, inverse property is the fourth property, and the next property is commutative property. I will be discussing in further in next few minutes. Right. If I go for example of closure property, see here it is. Here I have written example one. What is Q? What is Q? It is the set of rational numbers. And what is this symbol? This represents multiplication. Q comma multiplication is closed. I have written directly. Why? Because A star B belong to Q for every A comma B belong to Q. A star B belong to Q for every A comma B belong to Q. Right. In set of rational numbers, if we take any two rational numbers, if I take minus 3 by 5 and 5 by minus 3, minus 3 by 5 into 5 by minus 3, if I multiply those two rational numbers, the resultant value is also a rational number. That is, this speaks that A star B belong to Q for every A comma B belong to Q. This condition speaks that if I take any two rational numbers and if I multiply those two rational numbers, if the resultant rational value is also a rational number, then we can say that this set of rational numbers is closed with respect to operation multiplication. That is why I have written it as Q comma into is closed. The reason is A star B belong to Q, that is instead of star I have taken multiplication. A into B belong to Q for every A comma B belong to Q. Right. If I go for next example of closure property, Z comma minus E is closed. Here Z is integer set, minus E is subtraction symbol, it is closed. I have written it is closed. It represents that, or it says that Z satisfies closure property with respect to subtraction. Since A minus B belong to Z, for every A comma B belong to Z, right? If I take any two integers, minus 3 and 3, minus 3 plus 3 is 0, the resultant value is 0. 0 is present in set Z. That is what I have written here. A minus B, 3 minus 5 is minus 2. Minus 2 belong to Z. For 3 comma minus 5 belong to Z. Here I have taken symbols. Instead of these two symbols, we can take any two integers, and if we put in this condition, the resultant value should be an integer. So this example says that Z minus is closed with respect to subtraction. Right. The third example is Q comma. What is the symbol? It is division symbol. Symbol of division. Q is set of rational numbers. I have written here it as not closed. Why I have written it as not closed? Why? Because there is a contradictory example, that is, since A divided by B does not belong to Q. Why? Because for every A comma B belong to Q, the resultant value A divided B by B does not belong to Q. Here I have written an example which is supporting this standard representation, right? Minus 8 by 9 is a rational number when divided by 0 is equal to minus 8 by 9 by 0 is undefined. Why? Because any number when divided by 0 is undefined, and this undefined value is not present in set of rational numbers. Therefore, for minus 8 by 9 comma 0 belong to Q, when operated with division symbol, it gives undefined value which is not present in set of rational numbers. Therefore, here we have written it as Q comma division is not closed. It is the example which supports the statement that Q comma division is not closed. Here the first two examples are giving the examples which are strongly supporting the property of closure property, and this example is a strong example which does not satisfy closure property, right? If I go for the example of associative property, right? What does associative property state? A star of B star C is equal to A star of B star C for every A comma B comma C belong to G. A star of B star C is equal to A star B of star C for every A comma B comma C belong to G. Right. If I go for example, Z comma plus is associative. I have written it directly. Why? Because If I go for calculation part, I have taken -1 instead of A, -1 again instead of B, 0 instead of C. Right. So I have put these three values in this condition, A plus of B plus C. Right. It is written as -1 plus of -1 plus 0 is equal to, again here instead of A I have taken -1, instead of B I have taken -1, and instead of C 0. And in this part, if I substitute these three values, it is taken as -1 plus of -1 of plus 0, right? So the left hand value is -1 plus of -1 plus 0. -1 plus 0 is -1, plus of -1 is -1, -1 is equal to -2 is equal to -2, right? So the right hand part calculation also gives -2 and left side part calculation also gives -2. Therefore, for any three integers, if these three integers are substituted in this condition, A plus of B plus C is equal to A plus B of plus C, and if it is equal to, then we say that set satisfies associative property with respect to given operation star. Here the set of integers is satisfying the associative property with respect to plus. Therefore, we say that Z plus is associative. Right. It is the example of associative property. And if I go for the next property, it is identity property. If I go for example of identity property, here I have written the set of natural numbers. The set of natural numbers is equal to 1, 2, 3 and so on, satisfies identity property with respect to multiplication, since in set of natural numbers n there exists an element 1 such that A into 1 is equal to A is equal to 1 into A for every A belong to n. I read it once again, relating to the definition. Right. Here we have written that if there exists an element E in set G such that A star E is equal to A is equal to E star A for every A belong to G. In the same way, I have written here it as there exists an element 1 such that A into 1 is equal to A is equal to 1 into A for every A belong to n. That is, in set of natural numbers, there exists an element 1 which satisfies the property A into 1 is equal to A is equal to 1 into A for every A belong to n. Right. In this place A, if I take 2, for 2 belong to n, 2 into 1 is equal to 2 is equal to 1 into 2 for 2 belong to n. If I go for 3 instead of A, 3 belong to n, 3 into A, 3 into 1 is equal to 3 is equal to 1 into 3. That is, in place of A, in this property, if I take any natural number and if we operate, the resultant value will be the natural number itself. That is why in natural number set there exists an element 1 such that A into 1 is equal to A is equal to 1 into A for every A belong to set of natural numbers. Therefore, we clearly conclude that the set of natural numbers satisfy identity property with respect to multiplication. Right. If I go for the next example, the same set, I have taken the same set of natural numbers 1, 2, 3 and so on, does not satisfy the identity property with respect to addition. In the first example, I have taken the operation into, and in the second example, I have taken the operation addition. Right. In this operation, in this example, I have concluded that the set of natural numbers does not satisfy the identity property with respect to addition, since in n there does not exist an element 0 such that A plus 0 is equal to A is equal to 0 plus A for every A belong to n. Here in set of natural numbers there is no element called 0 which satisfies this property. Which is this property? A plus 0 is equal to A is equal to 0 plus A. It is the property of identity property. Right. Instead of star there is plus, instead of A there is A, instead of E there is 0. Right. See here, A plus 0 is equal to A is equal to 0 plus A. This property is not satisfied in the set of natural numbers. Why? Because in set of natural numbers the element 0 is not present. We should very clearly understand these two examples. It is with respect to multiplication. One is identity element with respect to multiplication, and 0 is identity element with respect to addition. So with respect to multiplication, identity element is 1. It exists in set of natural numbers. Therefore, here we conclude that the set of natural numbers satisfy identity property with respect to multiplication. And in this example, we should clearly know that 0 is identity element with respect to addition. And in set of natural numbers, there does not exist element 0. So 0 is an element, identity element with respect to addition. Therefore, we here in the second example, we conclude that the set of natural numbers does not satisfy the identity property with respect to addition.